Hey, welcome back to AnimeCons TV. I'm Patrick Delahanty, and I'm here with everyone once again for our end of the year predictions episode. We've got Doug,
Hey guys.
Elizabeth,
Hello.
and Shiva and Sketch.
Hi.
Hello.
And so we're gonna we'll start by reviewing our predictions for 2021. And if you've seen our episodes for the last, we've been doing these 12 years predictions? Or is it 13? But anyway, like a dozen times. We're usually wrong. So let's see how wrong we are this year. Elizabeth, you predicted that there would be more 2-day or 1-day events as cons don't want to risk 3-day events.
Yeah. Doesn't look like that really happened. At least that I could tell. Looked like things kind of stayed with the same amount of time they were before. So I think maybe places just wanted to fall back into old hat and not have to like cut down on stuff, or maybe they promised some kind of contract thing that they would keep it the same length. I don't know, but it doesn't seem like that was really a thing. So
yeah, it seemed like the cons were all or nothing. They'll
Yep.
cancel or they'll go with whatever they normally had. Doug, you predicted that some cons would go bankrupt because they can't use force majeure and attendance is down. You said that some bigger cons might be able to weather the storm, and you thought that it would happen more to smaller cons that don't have a lot of cash on hand.
I mean, I did not really hear of any. I mean, the only thing really was Otakon still, which is really a bigger con, still watching their budget, and we're not sure what was happening, which was frankly a little scary. But I didn't really hear any of like smaller conventions happening. I think they almost lucked out because they're smaller, so there's fewer people, so it was easier to kind of plan an event around that. So I feel like I was pretty wrong again.
Yeah, I did see a bunch of smaller cons just decide to call it quits. Like, you know what? I think we're done. But I didn't see any that were directly tied to financial. I mean, it all comes down to the money. But none came out.
Yeah,
They
more
said, hey, we need a lot of money, except for Otakon, which tried the big fundraiser, which is odd because they also weren't very transparent about it, saying exactly what they needed the money for or how much they needed. It's just, hey, give us money.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, it's interesting because some conventions, like you said, just kind of said like, you know what, this is a good time to end it before we get into trouble. And it almost feels like the thing that was going to happen with some like con attendees who was just like, you know what, I was looking for a time to say I'm done, and they've walked away from going to conventions. So.
And Rob, you predicted that you would make an appearance in an episode that's not year in review or mailbag.
Hey, how'd that work for you?
I built a house.
Well, I mean, Doug did the whole season, so.
Yeah.
My back is very sore from carrying this whole show.
Yep. Doug did not post in the notes what Shiva's prediction was. So
Mine was Dragon Con was going to be the first con to come back this year.
Yes, you predicted
Or
Dragon Con.
the first
The first major con to come back.
Yeah, which I believe would be considered Otakon to be the first big one that came back, maybe?
I mean, there's.
Maybe. I know big, large is kind of an arbitrary definition, but I was thinking kind of one of the more famous, highly attended ones when I was kind of thinking about it. Like AX didn't happen, right? So I feel like maybe Otakon was the first.
I would consider kind of Otakon the first one also because they had to plan in a very short window, like they didn't because they weren't sure it was going to happen. And then they only had like a few weeks to really get it together versus having a year-long plan. So that's the first real major one, but they're not that far apart either. So they're both pretty close.
Also, Labor Day weekend, there was also PAX West and Fan Expo Boston.
Yeah. And the weekend before that, you had Adam Savage's SillyCon, which is pretty big. So there's between Otakon and SillyCon and the whole Labor Day weekend thing, there were quite a few right in there in this couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So everybody said, okay, go ahead.
But we had the right time frame.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were predicting, because it's in Georgia, they really don't care about it.
They don't care.
You get COVID. You get COVID.
And, let's see. We had some fan predictions. Mark predicted that he would be lucky to have, we would be lucky to have cons by late fall 2021. The vaccine won't reach the greater population until summer, and then it's a wait and see whether events can actually happen with large numbers. And it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Not so much late fall as Labor Day, but
I think it, at least at this time last year, I don't think we were expecting to get vaccines quite as soon as we did. So I think that was a factor in that for sure. So it wasn't far off. That was actually a pretty good prediction.
Yeah. And XX Map Xerexx. It's a YouTube username. Forgive me. Lots of X's. They predicted that some fans think they'd be able to attend AX next year in July. It's highly unlikely. I predict major cons to return in 2022. Well, he was right. AX didn't come back. But major cons have actually come back before 2022. The rest of them we'll start to see more and more. So now it's time for some predictions for next year, 2022. How is the 2022? But are we going to go on a 14th season? So who wants to go first with the prediction?
Mine completely escaped my brain. So I'm going to wait for it to come back.
Okay.
Because I didn't write it down like an idiot.
See, I did that last year. Totally forgot.
It was so good too, and someone's going to probably steal it. So I'm just going to go hide it in the corner.
Well, we got ours, right?
Yeah.
All right. Or do you want to go first?
I can go first.
You go first.
I think the petition will work, and they will actually have a season 2 of the live-action Cowboy Bebop.
I mean, that's a bold one considering how they
I only go
harass
bold.
the actors.
I only go bold.
I don't know. I mean, I could do the opposite of that, which, but yeah. I mean, that's an interesting one because I felt like that the way fans reacted to that was so horrendous.
It's like everything is polarized. It's just like, oh.
Did you like it?
I liked it. I thought they caught the spirit of it. Obviously, they couldn't go verbatim, and that would have just been boring.
Yeah.
But I think they definitely got the spirit of the show, and then they expanded on stuff in the background. But everyone has their own fictions, like I say, like that. But all in all, I think out of all the live-action adaptations of anime, it probably was the most solid.
You think it's going to discourage anybody from doing it again?
No,
No,
they still made money on it.
I am going to predict, which I think I'm totally going to be wrong, but because I think it's hilarious that cosplay.com is trying to come back, that the whole like exodus from like the influencer culture, like how Instagram and Facebook have like no reach anymore. You can't unless you make reels or you're constantly trying to like push yourself on social media, nobody can show off like their cosplay work or anything. I think the old school is going to come back.
I want awesome. AC Paradise.
Yes, AC Paradise was my favorite. I still update my AC Paradise just because I like it so much, not because anybody looks at it.
I just need a place to keep track of that stuff because I forget about it. What kind did I wear that to? Which costumes do I have? Yeah.
That was the best part about it.
The man who makes websites for fun doesn't have a website for this already.
No comment.
We should bring it back. We should just get all of our friends and be like, all right, post on your ACP because no one gets reach on Instagram anymore.
And I loved about ACP is like I would forget what I wore to what convention, and I would go on ACP and check. So yeah, actvcast.com. Let's bring it back. Screw likes and followers. Bring that back.
All right, I remember what mine was. So mine is, I think you're going to see more cons, and could be a crapshoot, and it's kind of risky, but I think you can see more cons trying to do more outdoor programming because it's outside and it's safer to be outside. And I think in saying that in like December in New England feels really weird. And we've seen some cons in the past do outside stuff because of space restrictions, with some good and some bad outcomes. And of course, you're always at the mercy of the weather. But I think you're going to see more conventions maybe using just more outdoor space that's allotted to them, making sure that things are available to people. So like I'm thinking, because I haven't been to Anime Next's current location, but their previous one like had a lot of nice outdoor space, and like I can't even think of how crowded the con would have been inside if there wasn't like this nice outdoor area for people to hang out. And of course, we'd all be screwed if it rained, and it was nice the weekend that I went. And like at Dragon Con, there's like space outside for people to hang out, and then like at the BCEC in Boston, they have that nice lawn D area that's outside that I know you can rent for events, and then they have a lot of events going on during the year. And I think you're going to see more cons try and do stuff that's outdoors with like fingers crossed it's not going to be crappy weather. Even so, they might use tents or things like that, but I think that's where you're going to see some things going with them trying to work around the way things are now.
Yeah, that's worked out well at PortCon Maine. Again, that's June in Maine. Imagine June in Texas is a little bit different. Or Florida.
It's like I remember going to PortCon a couple times and it rained, which made going out to the tent like tricky.
Yeah.
Back down. Get 3 more days of rain.
And Doug, do you have a prediction?
I think we're going to really have. There's going to be just a couple. I've talked about this before, but I think we're going to see. I think there's going to be a surge of like one property that was an anime that in like 2020 that aired and just people didn't get to cosplay it because there was no conventions. And there's going to be a huge push to try and get that. And everyone's going to just be wondering, what the heck is this? Because they missed it. And we've already moved on to the next thing. Like maybe, I mean, Demon Slayer cosplay kind of happened, but not really. Maybe it'll be Demon Slayer, just everyone pushes it, even though there's no anime for it.
No, all My Hero Academia cosplay.
That's still ongoing, so.
And my prediction is that a certain Midwest convention organizer will finally face the music. I don't want to say who, but he'd probably sue me. It's been a long time coming. And don't take people's registration information for minors and post it on a dating site. Why would you do that? So I guess in another year, we'll see how we did with these crazy predictions.
Yeah. We did have one fan prediction.
Oh, we did.
From our Twitter account, Masa D Gucci, or Masa D Luffy is the actual username, said they predict that Animanga USA will collapse under the weight of its own hubris. And this is an organization that's is having several conventions. Like they already have just on their Twitter account, one in Atlanta, one in Miami Beach, and one in Ontario, California. Like all with so they're trying to do multiple ones. So that's their prediction, is that trying to have multiple conventions one by one organizer, all within several weeks of each other. So that's their prediction.
And not having
old strategy, Cotton. Let's see if that pays off.
For a new group, I assume they're new. I don't remember them, but assuming they're new, to try to do a new event in one place is hard enough. But to try to do new events across the country, California, and stuff, that's insane.
Yeah.
You know what I say about starting new conventions.
Don't.
That's right. Don't. All right. And so I guess that wraps it up for our end of the year predictions. And just remember, don't start a new convention, especially during a pandemic. Really bad time to start a new convention. Who knows what's going to happen?
Maybe that should have been my prediction, is that someone will try and start a new convention, and then now, while things are uncertain,
just doing that. I see new conventions coming to the site all the time. I'm like, what are you doing? Just hold off a couple of years. All right, you want to risk your money? Fine. But, yeah. All right, and so if you have predictions, you can write to us at podcast@AnimeCons.tv. You can leave us a voicemail. Please leave us a voicemail, because if nobody leaves us voicemails, Google might disconnect the phone number. So leave us a voicemail at 762-ADEQUATE at 762-233-7828, and follow us on Twitter at AnimeCons TV. Don't bother with Facebook, Instagram, because those social media, nobody sees them anymore. See you next year.
See you next year, guys.
Bye.
Bye.